Good evening. It is June 19th, and I would like to call to order the Wyndham-Raymond School District Board of Directors. It's 6:30, and we are in the Raymond Broadcast Modular. Mr. Prince?
Kate Levier.
Here.
Janie Cummins.
Here.
Kate Brooks.
Present.
Scott McLean.
Here.
Peter Hensler. Marge Gavoni.
Here.
Anna Kenny.
Here.
Don Dillon. Eric Colby.
Present.
Will you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Mr. Prince, no? Okay. Any public input? All right. In the public input, I would like to make a couple of remarks. Today is the last school board meeting that Sandy Prince, our friend and mentor, will be attending. There have been, I figured it out with my first grade math skills, 288 at least meetings, school board meetings, official ones that you've attended, 16 different school boards, because even if there's just one difference, that's a different school board. And we would like to thank you for those years of service to the district, to Wyndham and Raymond, and we will miss you and wish you well. Okay. Could I have a motion to approve an employment agreement?
I move to approve the employment agreement for Assistant Superintendent Christine Frost Bertone at a salary of $123,000, which also extends the contract to June 30th, 2021.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. No public comment. Any board discussion?
So I just want to say that I met Christine. She seems like a fantastic choice. I will say that I do have a little bit of an issue with salary. I do apologize to everybody that I was not able to make it to the previous meeting, but I do have a little bit of an issue with the salary. I understand why the salary is the way it is. I feel like we as a board should probably kind of take a second look, if you will, as to what our pay structure is like for our top administrators. I understand that we do want to provide some solid recruits moving on down the line, and I get that, but I do feel like we have kind of backed ourselves into a little bit of a corner here with this particular salary. So I will be voting against this. I'm not voting against the choice. I am going to be voting against the salary.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor? All those opposed? One abstain. Okay. All right. So could I have a motion about adding a kindergarten position at primary?
I move to approve adding a kindergarten teaching position at Wyndham Primary School due to an increase in student enrollment.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any public comment? Any board discussion? Do you want to, is there anything?
Sure, I'll go ahead and so this will be adding a 12th kindergarten position to Wyndham Primary School. Right now, kindergarten enrollment is up actually in both Wyndham and Raymond. For whatever reason, and just also speaking to our new assistant superintendent, Also hearing that in her district, kindergarten numbers are up as well. But right now, we're at 217 kindergartners at Wyndham Primary School. Typically, we're in a class of around 200. And right now, as far as classroom structure and where to put the class, we're in a good spot. Should numbers continue to increase, there is a plan that we could possibly add a 13th classroom. However, that would require some significant movement of people around the building, and so our tipping point is probably going to be another 10 to 15 students before we really need to start looking at that 13th classroom. But for the moment, we're holding steady. We've not had any new enrollments since Dr. Rhodes came and spoke to all of us. But the good news, enrollments are up. So we're seeing more kids across the district. And just so everybody knows, your two biggest grades right now are kindergarten and incoming 6th.
Thank you.
We still open for board discussion?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask a quick question on that matter? Say we, over the course of the summertime, we do hit that 15 kids or something like that. Will that require a board vote to bring on the additional teacher? Because you're going to need to get the wheels moving
Yeah.
on that.
So on August 7th,
Yeah.
you have a board meeting.
Okay.
And we would look to bring a candidate to you on that date to...
You know.
And with any sort of an increase in enrollment or any change in classroom, we try to communicate that as early as possible. The last thing we want to do is start a school year and have kids start with a teacher and then have to move teachers. So we'll be keeping an eye on those numbers throughout the summer.
Fantastic. Now I'm up to date. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? No opposed. Okay. Next is appointments.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I need help with the second teacher down. Pronounces-
Fougere.
Thank you. I move to approve the following appointments for the 2019-2020 school year. Jamie Smith, grade 6 math and science teacher at Wyndham Middle School. She's an MA with, what is the steps? 8 steps?
Yep.
Okay. 52,812. Anne Fouget, health teacher, Wyndham Middle School, BA 0, 38,373. Michaela Lothrop, special ed resource room teacher, Wyndham Middle School, bachelor, step 1, 39,373. Heather Reed, grade 1 teacher, Wyndham Primary, bachelor's 0, 38,373. Sarah Bolio, occupational therapist, new, Wyndham Primary School, she's MA with step 1, 42,912. Marissa Michaud, kindergarten teacher, new, Wyndham Primary, MA step 2, 43,912. Jamie Beal, grade 2 teacher, Wyndham Primary School, PhD, step 15, $66,448. Tracy Peterson, special ed teacher, new at RES, MA 15 step, $61,562. Kelsey McLaren, 0.5 physical therapist, new RES, CAGS, 4th step, $25,949. Sarah Childs, grade 2 teacher, RES, bachelor's 0 step, $38,373. Lisa Zeisler, speech therapist, new at Manchester and Wyndham Primary, MA 31 steps, $72,812. Catherine Hurl, music teacher at Wyndham High School, bachelor's 4th step, $4,473.
43,000.
What did I say?
4,000.
Oh, she gets 43,473. This is fun. Megan Flanagan, health/PE teacher, Wyndham High School, masters, step 4, $47,012. David Dyke, Latin teacher, Wyndham High School, a master's, 7th step, $51,362. Jed Bloom, applied technology, Jordan Small, master's, 14th step, $60,812.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any board discussion? Okay, yes, Marge?
Just for clarification, the new ones, are those due to the budget? I mean, I know the kindergarten teacher is, but
So
the
the
special ed?
those are new special ed
Okay,
positions
great.
that were approved recently in the budget.
Okay.
And all the rest are replacements.
Correct.
Okay. All those in favor? All those opposed? Nobody. Motion carries. Could I have a motion about appointment agreements?
I move to approve the amendment to employment agreement for Director of Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment, Christine Hessler, at a salary of $107,231.19, which also extends the contract to June 30th, 2022.
Second?
Second. Did you second it?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's okay.
I wasn't paying attention. I was ready to go.
Been moved and seconded. Any public or board discussion? All those in favor? No opposed?
I move to approve the amendment to employment agreement for Lisa Garno, Director of Special Services, at a salary of $117,994.60, which also extends the contract to June 30th, 2022.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any board discussion? All those in favor? No opposed? Motion carries. Okay. I would like to make a motion to approve the second reading of grading and reporting policy IKA.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any board discussion?
Just a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any changes from the, okay.
I'm sorry. All those in favor? No opposed? I make a motion to approve the second reading of the revised graduation policy IKF.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Any changes here from the last reading?
All those in favor? No opposed. Okay. Make a motion to approve the first reading of the revised bidding purchasing policy DJ.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any board discussion? Or do you have something to say?
If I can just give a couple highlights
Mhm.
to the changes, and Finance had a chance to look at this policy at their last meeting. Also, we sent a copy of the policy to our accounting firm to make sure that they were accepting the dollar amounts and the thresholds that were there. Really, the purpose, so the public knows that we're looking to make the change, is to provide some greater flexibility within our purchasing policy, and specifically with purchasing things in the area of Mr. Hansen's field, where we are, in the previous policy, and I'm going to take you to B, and it's the third paragraph, and it's fine if you don't have it in front of you, but the old policy, purchases exceeding $2,500 and less than $75,000 required 3 quotes to be done, and there are times where you have a pump that goes down at the sewage treatment plant that costs more than that, and there's not time to actually give 3 quotes, and there's nothing within the previous policy that allowed any provision to have some flexibility with that. So a couple things have changed. One, purchases exceeding $10,000, less than $75,000 require the 3 quotes. This is in line with what our accounting firm also recommends. In some cases, just so that you're aware, we'll send out requests or quotes, and a good example of that, we're taking an oil tank out of the primary school this week. We sent that out to 5 different companies. Only 1 company brought a quote back because of the work. So to the extent that we can do that, we'll go ahead and do that. The biggest part of this policy, though, is a paragraph, and I'm going to read it. I know it's might be a little boring for the public, but it's an important change here. And it reads this: the superintendent may forego the above competitive bid or RFP process only when he or she determines that quality, expertise, and time factors or other important considerations outweigh the possible benefits of bidding or requesting proposals. In such case, the Finance Committee must approve the superintendent's decision, and the full board shall be notified of the superintendent's decision and the reasons for it in the advance of voting to approve the purchase. And the reason for this is to give us some flexibility because we are running up against timelines such as a 6-week construction time in the summer where the RFP or the bidding process on some projects takes such time that we would never get the project done within the time that's allotted. But for full transparency, it does not provide the superintendent carte blanche to be able to just go out and spend money. It still has to be approved by finance and still needs to be approved by the board, but allows to miss that competitive bidding process if the time doesn't allow for it, or if the scope of the project is such that we have a prime vendor that we've been working with that knows our building and is able to complete things. But again, that'd be an item communicated. So those are really the biggest differences with the purchasing. It brings us or keeps us in line with state law as far as purchasing. And anything between $20,000 and $75,000 is a communication item to the board. And still, it will be the process within our district that purchase orders over $400 will still need to be approved by the superintendent or the assistant superintendent. So that part does not change. And you'll still continue to get the wonderful sheet on the warrants where you get a chance to see how the district's spending the money, but it's providing some greater flexibility.
Thank you.
Question.
Yes?
So, under B, where it says purchases exceeding 10,000, anything under that doesn't require the 3, is that including leasing or just a purchase?
Just the purchase.
So leasing, so with leasing something was $5,000, it would still require 3.
Let me check on that for the second reading.
Okay, that's fine. And then I guess my only question is, like copiers and stuff like that, we're gonna fall into that 10, although they're probably getting close to it.
Our copier lease right now is, what are we paying? $77,000 a year.
Okay, but you're not, but that's all of them.
That's correct. It's all bundled together
But you-
as one.
But you don't buy one at a time or anything like that?
We don't.
And I don't have concerns, because I think
Yep.
everybody does that. I know there's a local businessman that has had concerns about getting in on that process, and I didn't want to
Yep.
elevate that if that's the case, but okay.
No, and that's a current 5-year payment. That was, it's about $77,000 a
Okay,
year.
yeah, that's fine. You don't have to go into it.
Are we all set?
Yes.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded for the first reading. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay. Somebody else?
I move to approve the warrant for assessment of regional school unit tax and to approve the assessment schedule and notice of installments in the format presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I'm sorry, that was a different thing than what I had. Yep,
No.
okay, all right, never mind. It's been moved and seconded. Any board discussion and public comment? All those in favor, or do you have,
Can you give just a brief, because I don't know, this probably means what this
Sure.
means to anybody that's listening.
So at our June, I'm losing the date here,
11?
a week ago Tuesday, when the budgets were approved, there was a dollar amount that was approved for, which is the local component of our school budget. What you are going to be approving now is think of it as the bill, the installment plan that we're sending to both communities of Wyndham and Raymond, as far as when their assessments are due and the amount for each of those monthly payments.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? No opposed? Can I have a motion? Go ahead.
I move that the computation and declaration of votes stated and attached hereto be and is hereby approved. Further, that the computation and declaration of votes be entered upon the records of Regional School Unit 14, parentheses, the Regional School Unit. Further, that a certified copy of the computation and declaration of votes be sent to each of the municipal clerks within the Regional School Unit.
Second? It's been moved and seconded. Any board discussion or public comment? Marge?
Kate, could you just read just the numbers so folks would know?
I don't have the numbers.
Yeah, we-
Oh, on that.
Sorry, that's
It's
the
not on the
attachment.
motion.
That was part of it, that's the attachment with the motion. Whatever it's
Okay.
called.
Would you like me to go ahead and read it?
Yes,
Would
would
you
you
please?
please?
Okay.
So for the most recent June 11th election, for the town of Raymond, there were 158 affirmative votes and 59 negative votes. For the town of Wyndham, there were 224 affirmative votes, 123 negative, for a total for the two communities of 382 affirmative votes and 182 negative votes. And so the budget passed.
Thank you.
Out of 20,000 people.
Yeah. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? No opposed. Okay. Report of the secretary. I move to approve the minutes of the June 5th, 2019 meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any board discussion? All those in favor? No opposed. And I move to approve the minutes of the June 17th, 2019 meeting.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any board discussion? All those in favor?
I'm gonna abstain
Okay. All those
Is
opposed?
that because Peter didn't read it? Just kidding.
No.
because I wasn't there.
That's a good meeting. Okay. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded.
I'd like to discuss.
All those in favor? One opposed?
No, I raised my hand.